This week, we're going to be running through some investing tools and resources that we use when choosing and analysing stocks.
Many people think that investing is simply for the professionals who need a ton of knowledge or experience in order to do it. That simply isn't true.
There are many free tools, resources and information available to you at the click of a button, which just simply weren't available 10 years ago.
Right, and there's never been a better time than right now to be a retail investor like you and I, and we're going to be going through some of our favourite tools and resources to help you along your investing journey.
We're going to start with some basic ones and then add more advanced tools and resources as the video goes on.
So make sure to use the timestamps that we've left below to jump to any section that you're interested in, or stick with us for the full video to get a full overview. I'm Steve.
I'm Kian.
And this is the Learnings Report, a show where we make investing accessible and understandable for everyone.
The first one on our list may seem like an obvious one, but it's an important one. Choosing the right broker. If you're in Ireland or Europe, you may already have access to an internet banking app, such as Revolut. This is very good for beginner investors as you have access to investing with very little friction. However, at the time of recording, the analysis and educational tools on the app are quite limited. You may find as you start doing more investing that you'll need more educational resources or investing tools, and that's when you might start thinking about a novice broker, such as Trading 212, Interactive Brokers, DeGiro, or eToro. These brokers tend to offer better educational resources and investing tools, and some of them offer paper trading, which is like trading with virtual money and helps you to get used to the brokerage account. We've done a video looking at all the best brokers for Irish and European investors, and you can check it out here.
But remember, learning to invest isn't like learning to ride a bike. With a bike, you either know how to ride a bike or you don't. With investing, it's a constant learning experience. So if you've only just started investing, you've been investing for a while, or you're an experienced investor, it's all about continuously learning and improving as you go along. And a great way to continuously learn about investing is to read books and listen to podcasts. And we're going to give you a few of our favorite ones now. 3 books that we would recommend for beginner investors especially are The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and The Motley Fool Investment Guide by The Motley Fool. In addition, you might also be interested in looking at a service such as Blinkist. Blinkist is a book summarising subscription service and has a really clean and easy to use mobile app that allows you to read summaries of non-fiction books. It has a ton of investing and personal finance options, and some of the best known investing books are included in the app. It's a quick and easy way to get the most important points from a book or get an overview of a certain topic before diving in to learn more. And if you're interested in checking it out, we'll leave a link in the description below. Also, on a side note, one of the most famous investing books that a lot of gurus will recommend is The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Although there's certainly a wealth of knowledge to be learned from the book, for beginner investors it can seem really intimidating when you first begin reading it, so although it comes recommended, I personally wouldn't recommend it to a complete novice investor. I'd say read a couple of other books first, get a feel for investing, and then come back to The Intelligent Investor and perhaps read it then. But of course, if you're not the reading type, we do have a couple of podcast recommendations for you also. Firstly, we've got Snacks Daily, and they market themselves as digestible financial news. Basically, they do 3 stories every day. It's a 15-minute long podcast, really easy to listen to. Second on the list, we've got Stock Club. This is actually an Irish-run podcast, and they also have a paid subscription service that we'll be talking about in a little while, and they release a podcast every 2 weeks. And then thirdly, we have The Motley Fool. We've already mentioned The Motley Fool earlier, and we'll be talking about them again later, but again, they are a private financial and investing advice service that you can subscribe to if you wish, but they also have a free podcast or podcasts that cover a wide range of topics and industries. Some of their podcasts are released daily, some are weekly, and they are more detailed and probably a little bit more advanced than other podcasts, but they're a great way to find companies that you might not have heard of and do a little bit more research on.
Next up, we have Twitter. Now, full disclosure, Steve and myself only really use Twitter for investing purposes. We only set up accounts for that. So don't worry if you don't actually have an account. You can easily set one up and just use it for investing purposes. Some great accounts that we suggest following are all here. Quickly, take them down. They're gonna go. Nah, we're only messing. They're linked in the description as well. Some of these analysts also offer free newsletters where they recommend companies that they're researching. We definitely recommend checking them out, and we'll link them below also.
Although myself and Kian strongly support the adage that the best person to manage your money is yourself, there are some great paid services out there that are definitely worth checking out, especially as a beginner investor. We briefly mentioned 2 of them earlier, one being The Motley Fool, and the second being My Wall Street, or the guys who run the Stock Club podcast. By subscribing to these 2 services, you'll get access to a showroom of pre-selected stocks and analysis that these industry experts do on a monthly or a weekly basis. People do have mixed opinions on the ROI of these platforms and their subscriptions and whether they're worth it or not. Personally, I use both of them and I do think that they are worth the money, but it's up to you to decide. If anything, it's a way of getting access to a curated list of pre-chosen stocks that you can at least have a reasonable level of confidence in and then do your own due diligence thereafter. The Motley Fool have a number of services that you can subscribe to, but two of the most well-known are Stock Advisor and Rule Breakers. As already mentioned, these services essentially do stock analysis and stock recommendations and have a showroom of companies that they recommend investing in. Stock Advisor is $199 per year, while Rule Breakers is $299 per year. Now this may sound like a lot, especially for a beginner investor, but of course the argument is that it will pay for itself over time because you'll invest in companies that they recommend, and over the long term you'll earn a lot more money than the amount you pay per year. The Motley Fool do offer a 30-day back money guarantee, and I've used it myself and have got the money back with no questions asked, so it might be worth checking out. And do be aware that they do regularly run 50% off sales, so keep an eye out for those. Or you could always split the cost with a friend. Then we have My Wall Street, which is pretty similar to the Motley Fool, but is actually Irish based and is based out of Dublin. They have two sections to their app, a Learn section and an Invest section. The Learn section is free, while you do need to pay to get access to the Invest section. The Invest section is where they have a showroom of their monthly stock picks along with an analysis of each company. But like the Motley Fool, they do offer a free trial, although it is only 7 days, but the paid service is a lot cheaper at only $80 per year. And again, they do run sales every now and again. I think I got a discount on the Cyber Monday sale, so do keep an eye out for those. So as you get a little bit more experience with investing, you might want to do more detailed analysis, and that's where some of these stock analysis tools will really come in handy. We have a couple of detailed videos on how to pick stocks to invest in and how to analyze a stock already, so if you haven't checked those out, make sure to do so here. But if you want some further tools and resources to use, we're going to go through those now. At a high level, you'll first want to have a look at Yahoo Finance and or Morningstar. These are two primarily free services that offer you ways to do a full fundamental analysis of a company. There is a wealth of information on pretty much every public company out there, and you can look through their earnings history, their revenue growth, general company statistics, and so much more. For the more advanced investor, you might want to look at a service like FinViz or StockRow. These are primarily stock screener tools and are really useful for the more detailed investing analysis. So on FinViz, you can essentially use it as a screening tool, go into market cap, select your market cap, you can check what dividend yield they have, you can look at what industry they're in or where they're located country-wise, and again, once you put in those filters, it will then give you stock suggestions that you can do further research on. It can be quite an overwhelming interface at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually not that confusing, it just takes a little bit of practice. Similarly, StockRow, again, somewhat of a complex interface, but it has a ton of valuable information and it's all on one screen. So although there are a lot of numbers here, again, with a little bit of practice, you can start seeing where the revenue stuff is, PE ratio growth, price to sales ratio, and all of this other information. And of course, if any of these terms or definitions are confusing to you, do check out the videos that we mentioned earlier, or you can go onto investopedia.com where it has a full library of investing definitions and meanings. Lastly, we also highly recommend checking out Seeking Alpha. Seeking Alpha is a crowdsourced content service platform for financial markets. They have a ton of articles and research on the platform that cover so many asset classes such as stocks, ETFs, and other investment vehicles. Think of it kind of like a social media feed where all really smart analysts are all competing to get eyes on the content that they've written. Once you've created a free account, what we would suggest doing is adding companies that you're interested in to your watch list. And then what will happen is analysts who write articles that include your companies will then appear on your feed. Up until 2021, Seeking Alpha actually offered most of the content on the platform for free, but unfortunately, as of recently, they have introduced a paywall, which you need to pay for in order to get full access to the platform. With your free account, you do still get access to 3 free articles per month, but to be honest, it's pretty useless as that's not a lot. However, rumour has it, there is a small workaround to get the articles for free. So our friend from summer camp's second cousin actually told us about a way that you can avoid the paywall, but of course this is for educational purposes only, so it's up to you whether you use it or not. Basically, what you need to do is open your account on a mobile app, click into an article that you're interested in, and just after the article loads, turn off your internet so that the article doesn't trigger the paywall. Now, of course, we've never done it, but we would imagine that if you did, you might need to try it a few times to get the timing correct.
And of course, last but not least, YouTube. Thanks a mil to everyone who's subscribed so far. We started this channel to help beginner investors, and that's what we plan to continue to do.
But of course, we're not the only YouTube channel out there that covers investing. There are plenty that do cover the topic, so of course, a quick search, you'll find loads.
That being said, the only channel you really need to subscribe to is ours.
And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to see our weekly videos, and don't forget to smash that like button.
What resources do you use that we haven't listed? Please let us know in the comments below.
And of course, anything that we didn't cover, such as subreddits or personal finance blogs, we'll include all the links to those in the description. And if not, see you in the next one. So our friend from summer camp's second cousin actually told us
So